Salut Français 3 et bienvenue. Aujourd'hui, nous parlons du imparfait. The imparfait, c'est un temps du verbe pour parler dans le passé. Now, is that freaking you out already? No, not the French. The fact that we're talking about another verb that's in the past tense. We already know a verb in the past tense. Don't fear. The imparfait is a different kind of verb in the past tense. Right now, our main focus is to figure out how do we form the imparfait, and later we'll figure out in the next chapter what do we actually use it for. All right, just to give you a really quick overview of when I'm going to use this tense, which is the imperfect in English, imparfait en français. I use it if I'm going to translate a verb as was or were plus ing. So I was running, he was listening, you were sleeping. Any of these is the imparfait. Another way we would use it when I say I used to. When I was a kid, I used to swim all the time. I used to eat ice cream every night. I used to go to church every Sunday. Things like that. Things we used to do, we would use the imparfait. What it does is it describes how people were, it describes characteristics, and things that happened repeatedly in the past. And this is actually wildly different from our passé composé, which is an action that happens once. Like I said, we'll discuss those differences later, but I want to highlight just a little bit of why we use the imparfait. Our main focus is the formation. How do I form this tense? The passé composé, il y a deux parties. Mais pour le imparfait, il y a un partie. You only have to worry about une partie, actually. It's feminine. All right. What I do is I find my stem. All right. My stem for this tense, the base on which I'm going to put my endings, is the new form. Once I've gotten to the new form, I say au revoir, ONS, and then I add on my endings. Okay? I want to draw this little chart, and let's write down our endings. A, and A. So notice they all sound the same, but they're spelled differently. A-I-S, A-I-S, A-I-T. The new form, I-on. Vous form, I-a. Oh yeah, you heard it right. And the il plural form is A. So notice, 1, 2, 3, 4. Je, tu, il, elle pluriel. The sound is the same. A. Ion, ie. Alright, but you got to remember how to spell these endings. Alright, let's take a look at some examples. So, if I wanted to say I used to sing. When I was a kid, I used to sing in the shower. Wait, I still do. Anyway, so I would go to the new form, okay? Au revoir, ONS. So now my stem becomes C-H-A-N-T, chant. That's my stem. My subject is je. The ending that goes with je is A. A-I-S, je chantais. I was singing, I used to sing. Here's another example, which you might think, oh my god, avoir is crazy. But it's not. And the imperfect is actually kind of normal. The new form is avant. So I say au revoir, ONS, and then I have AV as my stem. Vous is my subject, so the ending is IE. So vous aviez. You had, you were having, you used to have. So hopefully that's not terribly difficult for you. Okay. We do have to look at the verb étudier. Check it out. Nous étudions. That's the present tense, right? Because look, here's my infinitive. Take off the ER, add ONS. Fine. Okay, so that means my stem, because I said au revoir, ONS, is as the I. So étudier in the imperfect would be, well, in the new form, nous étudions. And it would be vous étudiez, which is, I know, pretty hideous. But you'll survive, trust me. So just gotta look out for verbs that end in IER. We're gonna actually end up having two I's. Oh, au revoir, ONS. Check that out. Now, there is only one verb in the entire French language that has an irregular imperfect, which is kind of fun. And obviously it says être on the top, but can you imagine why être would be irregular in the imperfect? Well, the answer is the new form does not end in O and S. It's nous sommes. So the form of être is completely different. The stem is E, accent aigu, and T. It's just ET. And then we put our endings. So j'étais, tu étais, il était, nous étions, vous étiez, ils étaient. So you can see here, the endings don't change, AIS, AAS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AINT, but it's the stem. The stem is E accent aigu with a T. And that's the only change for être. Now notice it's a accent aigu, not a circumflex like you would see on the infinitive, so look out for that. Alright, that's really all there is to know right now about the imparfait. Here are trois verbs for you to essayer. I would recommend taking it nice and slow. Write out the new form, cross off your O and S, and then add the appropriate ending. And we will check them out tomorrow. Au revoir.